There's that Samira ban.
Oh, there is the ban to start things off here. Like you mentioned, that Fiora probably on the immediate chopping block here for Bay Harbour. Don't want to let that one get over at all. As you mentioned, Rhea Fury in the mid lane, the captain, definitely has something up his sleeve, I can tell. Has a pretty big champion pool, like we've seen throughout the rest of this tournament. Has the likes of the Victor and the Syndra if they're going for, and there it is, has the likes of the Victor and the Syndra if he's going for more of a control mage style. Has the Zed in the back pocket I know about, the Galio as well. Yasuo and Yone, I believe, are also in his champion pool. So a very wide array of champions, and you can't really ban him out.
No, you certainly can't at all. We did see a Zed. Oh, wow. Well, we
There it
won't
is.
be seeing a Zed, though. Just as you said on Q, yeah, we will not be getting that Zed. We saw him, one of my favorite moments was him right next to that wall and accidentally Wing right onto the wall.
Yeah.
But that's not going to be an issue this time because he's not going to have a chance to play it. I just really love this extra ban. I love the sort of the rules of this tournament allowing for these tier 4 players to come in and make sure that we get these extra bans, because having 6 bans might make a big difference. Really might make a huge difference.
And looking into tomorrow, where we see Team Siren,
yes,
they've got 4
very
bans.
excited. I'm
Coach
so excited.
Kaiose is going to have a field day in that matchup as Mel going to be taking away another one of those picks that we've seen Sejin and I mean this entire tournament at large just be so incredibly dominant on.
Absolutely. Getting that Mel out of the way is going to allow at least the side of Scrappers to pick up so many picks, because much like the Silas, that Mel is a game warper where certain ultimates and certain abilities just can't be used. We saw a Jhin ult completely just wiped out, useless. The fourth shot
Double and send it back.
Yeah, yep, absolutely. And it's not going to happen this game. We got a Diana ban on the other side.
Yeah, taking that away from XX. Solid ban. I mean, especially if you played TFT recently, you know how annoying that champion is, as Zyra away from Aquil and just continuing to sort of strangle these pocket picks here from Bay Harbour.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a set, but in terms of Scrappers, there doesn't seem to be a set ban order in the way. They're just trying to get them off these comfort picks, these pocket picks, compared to BHR, which does seem to be targeting more of the jungler and the mid. Certainly, we'll see how it pays off. And Talia
Immediately going to lock in that Talia from Rhea Fury. Another one of his picks. Definitely has a lot of experience on that. And I mean, overall, it's pretty solid into a lot of the champions we have seen have been so dash, engage, focus. Being able to control the space with Talia is incredibly valuable in that situation. As on the other side, Seraphine Sion.
That's an interesting combo there. I don't see a Seraphine.
Could go anywhere.
It really could. I mean, the only Seraphine I've ever seen in Pro was the Carrier Seraphine. We've all seen that Carrier Seraphine, and it was a beautiful one. And I'm wondering if we're going to get a repeat performance here. But as you said, that Seraphine could go anywhere. You could even play Seraphine mid if you were so inclined.
I have seen that people have been trialing to see if it works, Seraphine jungle.
Yes, they added that buff. Buff to the queue. And you know what? I'd love to see it pulled out in tonight's game.
Gwen. These are some hyper carry picks here for Scrappers, and immediately the Nautilus as well, which is going to be interesting because you don't normally pick Nautilus into the likes of Talia. There has to be some strat that they're up to.
We've also got, on the side of the Scrappers, we have a very AP-heavy comp. That Yunara with the hybrid mixed damage is going to make at least BHR find it very easy to itemize against. And with these extra bans, I'm wondering if some AD champs are going to be banned away just to ensure, because BHR have got to be thinking, okay, they're going to have to lock in a couple AD champs here. And in terms of what the support they can pick, with the Nautilus taken away, we might get something a little bit more aggressive. With a Gwen, a Yunara, and a Talia, you are looking for these big sort of scuffles in the jungle where you can get those Talia rocks down and just sort of stop movement altogether. And there it is, an AD jungler banned, J4.
Yeah. The Braum as well, like you were mentioning, so continuing to constrain that champion pool even further. They won't have the counter pick this time around, and still that Seraphine is a bit ambiguous as to where it might go.
Yeah,
To lock
certainly.
in, what is the first pick here for Ying after this ban to come on through? The Viego away from Nox.
Ooh, a very good takeaway from Nox. A really good. You do not want Nox's Viego. It is a terrifying, the Ruined King, and we see another Orianna today. Mercury, another Orianna.
This is a. I mean, you've got the Seraphine ult, you've got Depth Charge, you've got the Shockwave, you've got the Scion racing in from half the map away. I mean,
Combos are
how do
stacking.
you?
Combos
This
are stacking.
is just a wrecking ball. But it also means that's a Seraphine probably bot lane.
Yes, Seraphine ADC. Ying picking up Seraphine ADC there. It's going to make your laning phase decently weak compared to the traditional. I mean, look at this. We've got a Yunara
Especially
Leona.
into Leona, yeah.
Yeah.
This is going to be a nasty lane to deal with. This last pick to come on through. Presumably the top laner, because Gwen is likely going to go to that jungle. Although, I mean, is a flex pick either way. We'll have to see as they round out
Love to
this
see
comp.
it.
And it will be Belveth going in towards the jungle here. Lived will be on that Gwen. What is the final pick here?
Yeah, I mean,
for Bay Harbor?
These are some really interesting champ picks. These are some really cool
Jax.
pickups here. Honestly, a Jax would fit
Jax
quite
jungle
perfectly. And I think I have seen a Rapier like the swords Jax as it's a Graves. A Graves.
Interesting.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, sorry,
not a
Nox
huge
Graves.
fan
No.
of the Graves into this comp, because usually you want to, get that collector online early and just one-shot people. You don't really have that same capability against the Belveth, who I believe has that durability when she uses her E. So I'm not a huge fan overall of Bay Harbor's composition, but we'll have to see.
BHR is playing a very squishy backline, and honestly, Graves most likely going for a crit build, a squishy frontline as well. And so with this backline access of the Talia, the Weaver's Wall, and the Solar Flare from the Leona, I'm really hoping to see the Seraphine take cleanse as we are ready to get into game and see if that will be the case. No cleanse are risky. That is. It's going to make bot lane very easy to contest for 225 and Row here as an invade.
Oh, and they are interested
Uh-oh.
in going for something here over the wall. A bit early there from Nox, but they don't have the information that the rest of the team is there other than Sajin. And now they have the rest of the information at their disposal, so just trying to force out this Belveth from the jungle.
Certainly is a Nox's classic playstyle. He plays a very aggressive jungler. He attempts to just put his hands around the throat of the enemy jungler and just take all their camps, take all the breath out of their wind, take all the wind out of their sails, I should say, as we already get so much vision on this jungle, which is going to be crucial for Nox's game plan. I personally am hoping that we do get, however, another aggressive Orianna build. With that Seraphine APC, you do lack damage for a majority of the game. She's more of a supportive, a bit of a supportive, champion. And so I really do think we're going to need something akin to Soar's build, where we do get that Blackfire, we don't go. And I believe we'll get that as the Orianna has opted to go the Doran's Ring over the tier.
Vertical jungles to come on here to start things off, but will be spotted on that red buff. So Nox has a lot of information at his disposal, but a bit behind on this clear, already burning that smite as well. Like you mentioned, Ying, in this early game, probably going to go for that Rylai's first to secure those stuns. Won't have too much damage until that Blackfire Torch comes online later. Is now expecting just some standard gameplay for the moment. Probably not going to be anything too outlandish, as Nox was spotted. Will anything be stolen away? No.
Did you
have
see
the time? Rowe did go for it. I respect the attempt.
I also do.
It won't
I really
be successful this time around. Still behind on the clear speed, though. Can he get back in time to really stabilize this jungle is the question.
Yeah, and we just, you know, you were talking about builds before, and that really is going to be the name of the game here. How both team builds. We've got our resident best Seraphine players in chat as well, so the judgment will be on for Ying. Hopefully, there's been some training and some U.GG lookouts to see what are the highest win rates, and more importantly, what will affect the game most importantly.
The Martinets have arrived. They are going to critique this into oblivion for sure. Has lived managing these trades well so far.
The Scion Gwen matchup, very tough, of course, for the Scion. Just a really difficult one, and we saw this in the other game with Holy Crusaders Vestion on it, and or at least the Ornn into Gwen matchup, and it's really tough to play. It's very tough to play as these low mobility tanks, because once Liv has access to that needlework, you're liable to just get run down at any moment in time. As take a look.
Aggressive here. Lands the slow. Nice sidestep, but no follow-up available there. And it is the Fleet Footwork for this Graves as well. So won't have the overall burst damage of something like the Dark Harvest, but has the extended and the movement speed as well that can be quite useful. So Gene takes a big chunk of damage in towards mid. So does Ro. Not enough to secure that kill, like you're mentioning. Seraphine not necessarily adept at this early damage. So just going to try and push things in, stabilize the CS for the moment. Rapier could be in a bit of trouble. Has no mana. Belveth on the way. Is a dive potential. That level up was pretty crucial.
Yeah.
So the shield
if anyone
is available.
can do it, a Belveth can.
Stops it. Burns the shield as well.
Long cooldown on that shield
if
early.
They choose to go for this dive. This next wave coming on in. Looking for the angle to work with. But they don't land it in time. And that's first blood over towards Rapier. Looking for a second. And the tower damage is insane early on. And that's the Baus Scion special for you. As 2 kills over towards this top laner.
That is really unlucky communication there. Belveth went in a little bit too early, Lived still sort of attempting to push in the wave and taking those tower shots. And I didn't see exactly what happened, but the use of the damage and vulnerability.
Oh, and they're going even further in. Ro, forced to run, try and buy some time. That's the feats of war instantly here. And now Rapier gets some proxy on the way, and possibly soon as interrupts XX's clear. This is going disastrously as a 1k gold lead at 5.5 minutes.
Yeah, that is...
Oh, hang on a moment. More action. 225 looking for something, but the Q is there. And Ying trades things back. Proxy
and a solo kill!
Going successful and a solo kill as well. There's just action all over the map, I guess.
Oh my god, a complete switch around to sort of the slow pace of last game. Really unlucky dive here.
This tower damage, man, you cannot disrespect that.
And the Scion passive gets the wave.
Yeah.
Oh,
certainly
this is not what you want. Not what you want. And this Seraphine bot getting ahead, that lost chapter for the first back means she's going to be able to push back these waves so quick and out roam a Yunara, which is going to be really good for Nox, able to get the prio on these dragons. And it does look like he has started it up and he wants to secure it early.
Yeah, an early Mountain Drake is going to be so good for this team, especially Sajin in that mid lane. Right, Orianna really uses that well with the extra resists you get for having that ball on you.
Certainly.
Will be secured. Yeah, they're not going to contest it. They're not even in position to. So just going to play a little bit. Try and stabilize things, you got to imagine, because there's nothing else you can really do at the moment.
Yeah. With Nox's playstyle already getting a lead this early is going to be very good for him. Look at the Belveth hovering here.
Oh, hang on a moment, Sajin. Maybe not the angle you're looking for. Never mind. The alley-oop combo. Shockwave into a shotgun into the face.
Double shots. That will do it. Absolutely.
Kills. Now, Ro, not necessarily the angle you're looking for here. Takes a big chunk of damage. Doesn't have the ult just yet here.
A lot of damage.
So not gonna have too much. 225 could be in a bit of trouble. Stunned up for the moment. And yeah, why? I don't know why you're going for this fight. Aquilin lives to tell the tale. The shields are huge. The healing as well.
Oh, he will trade.
One is traded back at the very least, but that's a 4-kill Seraphine in the early game. This is not what you want to deal with. Weaver's Wall will come on in. Will force knocks off. So the red buff's secured at the very least, but still 15,000 gold, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
That's the Blackfire Torch instantly completed. And Ying is going to be a menace heading towards this top lane.
I love the Blackfire Torch first. You need that mana on Seraphine to be able to match the wave clear of these ADCs, the traditional ADCs, and the damage and the shielding coming out in these team fights with this much gold on your APC carry. Look how deep they went in here. They really wanted to get Aquilin down, but he's so tanky. Not only does the Nautilus have shielding, the Seraphine has it as well. It's lucky that Ro could collect just waiting out that shielding there, doing enough damage to trade, but all these kills on Ying. Oh dear.
And this is a Conqueror Seraphine as well, so these extended fights are going to be even stronger.
God,
I don't know if that's a secret strat. If each of the like little notes counts as a different thing. If it does, that's amazing.
That's I'm not sure, but it does sound strong. I want to utilize your experience in this game, Mercury, and I want you to just describe to me, because I don't know it. Bel'Veth, it's a pick that I barely see. What is it? What's its use? What's its aim? What's its goal?
So normally if you pick the Bel'Veth, you want to kill the Void Grubs. There's a bit of a dive in mid. Not sure exactly how that went down, but a little bit of BM there for Rhea Fury. Yeah, as even more fighting. I won't get to tell you just yet. Dashing on in, looking for the angle. The ult's going to whiff. Pulled away by Aquilin, I think, and there's the Needles. 1 kill. Looking for another. Gets the reset, so going to have a lot more strength here. Underwards the tower. Gets the trade back at the very least. So it will be a double kill on over towards Lived. There's even more action. Completely interrupts our conversation, I guess.
Yeah, but it was good. A beautiful little bush flank there. They didn't really have the idea that Liv was going to be just hiding in one of these bushes waiting. And I mean, maybe that answers your question a bit. That Bel'Veth engage, the knock-up hitting Seraphine there, just completely slowing, and then you had that reset. Is that the main goal of the Bel'Veth, the sort of catch-out effect?
Yeah, usually if you pick the Bel'Veth, I mean, you want to get those early stacks from the objective up. Usually that means you want to get the Rift Herald. Sorry, not the Rift Herald, the Void Grubs early. So that wasn't the case this game. Wasn't able to secure them, so not going to be in a good position because you really want that Void-empowered Coral. Because that gives you all every single minion, ally or enemy that dies near you, turned into one of those little fish.
Yes,
that
yes.
Is incredibly powerful.
When you stack a wave.
Even diving in on some of these fights here, and especially with the extra durability, while you're altered, you get that extra damage on every auto attack that scales. That can really shred through some tanks here, especially with the Kraken Slayer, but it might not be enough for the moment because Sion is still Sion, and that's a 1v2 kill rather. Will fall for it in traders. I guess there's just solo kills happening mid all the time. I guess there's just a bunch of solo kills happening mid.
It's impossible to keep track because, seemingly Refury soloed again in mid. I didn't know. It's hard to say if there was a bit of jungler interaction there. It's my fault for not keeping up, but I'm amiss to what
I think it was
happened.
A solo kill.
It might have personally been this Talia pick. Certainly going to be useful in late game team fights to stop the Nord engage, to stop the Graves dash, but this early laning phase is finding some troubles into Sejin, certainly.
And I think the moral of today's game so far is that you can't predict. You cannot predict what's going to happen 5 seconds from now. There's a big chunk of damage.
Seemingly we keep finishing a team fight and then we'll just pan over to a body somewhere and some fight has happened at the exact same time. Who could predict it? Who really could?
These double AP carries here for Bay Harbor, there's no resistances. And very few of their team can even build resistances. As Aquilin might be caught out by Ro, uses the ult on towards one, perhaps not exactly what you'd hope for, as it won't be traded back just yet. Maybe the burn will be enough. Hang on a moment. Will it last long enough? No, it won't. The Infernal Drake going to be secured was a really nice Weaver's Wall there from Rear Fury, preventing Nox from getting towards that pit. And now, might be an extended fight towards the mid lane here. They don't know where Rapier is, and the Shockwave is available. Flash on in, dodges out of the way, lands the Q, almost not enough. And over the top, the Smite, double shotgun shell will be there. And Nox picks up that one as they're just continuing to skirmish back and forth. No team has a clear grasp yet on this game.
They certainly, oh, that was a bit of a close one. A really good
Almost had another
counter.
one.
Yeah, honestly. It was a great counter engage from the Scion and Nox being there to stop what was a good gank onto Sejin. But at the same time, we do have to notice, Liv did get a decent amount of plates, and with that Riftmaker complete, this Gwen is going to be a menace and able to get through the Scion and the Nort very easily. But certainly, Bay Harbor Rapiers, like the Sword, are aware. Maybe they wanted to dive there for a second, or they're pulling out.
And now these items coming to completion here. Youmu's and building towards that collector here for Nox. Rest of the team, they've got the Merc Treads to deal with those solo laners.
The majority damage, I mean, it is so AP heavy on the side of BHR. Like, yes, you've got the Graves, you've got his Youmu's, and looks like that's probably a collector coming online. But Scion is going this tank build, so he's not putting out... Oh, a bit of a...
Lived might not live much longer. Has the needlework available. Misses out of all the way of all of them, but still incredibly strong. Ghost available. Conqueror not going to land the kill just yet. The redemption will. And now Liv's probably going to fall on down in just a moment. One auto attack will do it. But a disastrous turn for things. That was a redemption all the way from mid lane. That item is incredibly broken, and they're probably going to get this first tower.
Isn't it so strong? Not only able to clean up the kill, but get a little bit more health just to buy that more time and allow for the first turret to go over to Scrappers there. Lived playing very well on decently low mana, barely anything, not enough to do a measly Q. Because they don't even trade for bot tower. They do get the top tower over.
And once again, it's going to come all the way down to these objectives. Rowe might have been a bit too overeager there. And the flash, was hoping that he had enough health to survive that Blackfire Torch, but it won't be this time around. Going to be spotted there, but there's no backup to get these extra kills.
Take
Hang
a look.
on a moment. Are they going to go over the
They're
wall?
on the Nautilus
I think
here.
Aquilin, yeah, this might be sunken to the bottom of the ocean. Like that statue.
Yes, I saw your
Your
name.
10 years.
Your old name is on it, or an old gamer tag? That's so cool.
Old heads remember, if you completed the quests, I believe you got your summoner name on the statue.
These
That
minions.
was back 2015, yeah. As Rhea Fury not long for the world there. Rift Herald on the other side though, going to be taken. So 2 for 2 for the objectives here.
But take a look, as you mentioned, getting that Herald. Interesting. What is this play here? What is this play here?
Interesting. Not taking the empowered coral. I'm not sure if there's a timer.
What is this play? Wait, what?
There isn't. Okay, interesting. Just gave up a big advantage there.
Oh my god.
By not
Mercury,
refreshing
thoughts?
that ult. Usually you want to refresh the ult.
I thought that was like the most important thing you mentioned.
That is, yeah.
That's the one how you get all the little fish, right?
Yeah. All of the void ones are the ones that give you the fish. So I'm not sure why exactly. But it might have something to do with the fact that he's being 1v1 by a Scion here. And over the wall, shotgun. Not even finishes it. That is Rapier picking up that kill. And Bay Harbor beginning to run away with this game after a few missteps here. Perhaps a little bit of shakiness, a little bit of maybe even inexperience with this pick.
I'm at a loss for words in regards to that. But look at the live flank here.
I don't know if this is the position you want to be in. Maybe, I mean, you get the kill onto the Scion at the very least, but Rhea Fury probably going to be traded back in turn. That's the Seraphine damage, and Sejin picking it up. And this Scion is still alive here. The ult to come on through. Aquilin will be the first to fall. And still, is alive. Finally falls on down. Lived is probably going to go over the wall. And now Ying could be in a bit of trouble. This Belveth looking for the resets. Has the angle. Finally gets a little bit of redemption. 1 and 5 for this champion. And they somehow ace them.
Yeah, it looked bad after RAPIERS did catch them out decently so, or at least cut the Scion off in the Weaver's wall. We can see it come through here, and it catches Rapier like the sword out. But take a look, he trades it with his own life. And then you've got Nox here, but look how much damage the needlework does. It lands on Sejin in the back, rinsing his health. Ro does catch out Nox here, and 225 flashing in to do so much damage. Lived, that Riftmaker, keeping him alive through the Scion's damage, turning what looked to be a bit of a Doom team fight with the catch out on RAPIERS something quite good. Although, he still lives. Ooh. He certainly still lives.
The boy who lives. Once more. 6 and 2, the shining hope of this team.
It certainly is the case that this Gwen, if another situation occurs such as that, with a team fight where so many of your needles are landing, healing you, shredding the enemy, these team fights do look like they're in the favor of the Scrappers as Vision is on, but they're going to have to give that red buff over to Nox.
Yeah, taking it away, I mean, like, every single camp that you take away from this Belveth is more stacking attack speed that she won't have.
Yes,
so
true,
this invade, stealing it away, is incredibly important to control the jungle here, and Nox is doing that so well so far. Has the Collector, has Grievous Wounds available, so going to be quite potent in these fights, and they're just continuing to spot out the Vision. You see the pings coming down towards the mid lane, and now gets caught by the slow. 225 could be in a bit of trouble, but gets away to safety with the ult for the moment.
Something I've noticed is both supports have gone for the Blood Song. Is that usual in your opinion? Because I feel like you're trading tankiness there, and yes, you are getting damage, but does both teams not already have enough damage?
I think it's such a good option for them because they both have abilities that really work well with Sheen effects, right? You know, Nautilus Q, and then you auto attack immediately after. Obviously, Leona Q as well, as XX gets caught out, and that's immediately what this matchup looks like, as they'll steal away another one of those buffs.
I think Atakan.
The best part about it as well is that it gives your next, like the next ally that hits them does extra damage. So it's still an incredibly important tool to help these burst champions do even more in these fights, as they're going to get a free Arda card.
Yeah, that is going to be a really good boost. And they'll attempt to trade. Ying might find herself in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, there's no follow-up. It's just Ro here for the moment. Horizon Focus is doing a whole lot of work here. Needle work over the back of it. The Hallowed Mist prevents that ult from doing anything here. A few summoners traded. The objective secured here for Bay Harbor.
Using that Zenith Blade to dodge the Orianna ult was certainly a very nice play from Ro, and allowing them to stay alive. We saw 225 backed out even after catching out Ying, which led to a little bit of a miscommunication, but no one died besides the tower, so trades on both ends. Probably agreeable for both teams, and they do get this blue buff away, which is certainly good. Belveth looking for that Stride Breaker second item, certainly mixing it up. Usually Stride Breaker is first, but they've gone for this Kraken, which has led them to be a little bit squishier, and we've seen Nox really capitalize on that. The Collector, the Youmu's, so much damage to just jump into that Void Queen, surely.
And you know that Ying wants to go for the damage by this build, doesn't even opt for that Rylai's. Yeah, which is sort of the standard for a lot of these Seraphines, to guarantee the root and the stun if you have the empowered E up. But yeah, look at this control over the jungle here. They've got the wards out. Shout out to Aquilin for continuing to just put up the pressure in these lanes as well. Has now lived. We've been in a bit of trouble. What is that hook? Aquilin, you legend, over the wall. Gonna get the kill and the tower as well, and that is the support that every team dreams of. As now the Weaver's Wall gonna force them off. So there's a little high then buy, and now...
Yeah, a little bit of a hit and run from RAPIERS there.
Yeah.
Low on mana due to that Weaver's Wall. 100 mana.
Ooh, Ying. That got a bit dicey there for the moment, but did manage to get out in time. Still, the gold is even between these teams.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. Even with the and in terms of levels as well, we should look at the level advantage, at least on the HR, is hefty. 225 caught out there. They want more though. Forced to flash.
This is looking rough for the Scrappers. They're going to have to live up to their name and skirmish the hell out of this game if they want to make this comeback happen. They've got the empowered boots, sure, but as we've seen, that is not the be-all end-all of these teams. Artican secure, they've got 29 pedals already, and add that to 2 Drakes. They are beginning to run away with this game. That's a wrap cap nearly completed here for Sajin.
Mercury, I was looking at the same thing.
That's a 23-minute Rabadon's death cap.
Oh my god, we needed damage, and Sajin understands that to a T. A 23-minute Rabadon's. This Orianna is going to be putting out so much damage. An unbelievably large amount of damage.
And look at this Sion as well. Look at... That's a Gwen and...
My god, they're not doing much to him. Oh no, Liv popped the ghost. Anything.
Liv popped the ghost. But on the other side, Flash ult going to be burned. Even still, it is very hard to deal with the Kainic Rookern, to deal with the Radiance and that Merc Treads. And even the damage, like this Grasp is not messing around. And meanwhile, they're keeping up the pressure everywhere else on the map. They're looking for the tier 2 top lane. And there's only Ro here for the moment to contest. Rhea Fury maybe can find something, but yeah, just doesn't have the damage.
Especially after seeing that hook from Aquilin. But you got to be terrified as Vision has been secured in the mid lane.
I really want that ward skin so badly, but you have to like be friends with a Rioter to get it. So if there's any Rioters watching,
oh yep, please bless us with.
I will be your endless supporter.
So they dance around. A very good use of Vision.
Good dash out of the way.
Look at this TP, the Weaver's Wall.
Maybe they've got the angle to work with, but Ro is just going to get melted in. 3-man stun, the shockwave as well. Maybe they can turn this fight, but there won't be enough. Nox has the angle to work with, and this Sion is so lethal. Needlework, though, does so much damage. It's a 3 for 3 so far. Rapier has to run for the hills, but has no ult, has no flash. They were burned earlier by this same Gwen, and Lived is on a killing spree. And that was just... It looked like it could have been anyone's game in that fight. You saw the chain CC, but it just wasn't enough.
It looked good for BHR. They had the huge Sion decimate Q there. You had the Orianna ult, but Gwen Lived is doing so much, and those rocks, you can see the RAPIERS rocks stopped Nox from being able to dash long enough that 225 gets enough damage. And watch this final needlework go out here, rinse Nox to secure the 3 for 3. I mean, that's exactly what you want. Lived is doing the work, and he needs to put into this game to have a chance here.
Ro almost caught out there off the TP from Ying, stacking towards his own Rabadons at this point. And I want to say, whoever called up that play in the Scrappers lineup, whoever was like, we're going to get this flank, you saw all the parts come together at the exact same time. There was no hesitation. Shout out to that. I imagine probably RAPIERS, the captain.
I have to say that Weaver's Wall, we saw it cut off and almost trap them in that tiny choke point. And you saw the power of the Talia E. I mean, there was so little movement, even the Nort couldn't really properly react, because they're all just gonna get stunned. And that's where that team captain comes in. Yes, there might have been some hiccups in the early laning phase for RAPIERS, but this is where it all matters right now as the Baron gets started on Vision for the Scrappers.
Yeah, they'll know this Baron's coming. TP towards top lane, but look at where XX is. Look at where 225 are. They're so not far anywhere near this. Gonna stop the ult there, the Weaver's Wall, and might be in a bit of trouble. That's the Talia. It just instantly burst on down. The shockwave is there. Lived not long for the world, and they are melting them in the Baron pit. And just like that, it might be over. They're going to get the backs off. They've got this Baron, and they're going to look to get a lot of pressure towards a game-ending play.
By all accounts, that team fight wasn't terrible if all the members of the Scrappers were there. The wall was good. They were trapped in the Baron pit. But, like you said, like we were saying, the Belveth wasn't anywhere close, and Lived himself wasn't close enough to get in and do the damage that they needed to do. So they just finished the Baron off, and then they could counter collapse so easily. A bit of miscommunication. We can see the replay here. Take a look. Good Talia wall. They're all trapped inside, but Ro doesn't want it. Ro hesitates and look at Liv only now getting in the fight. The Orianna ult, the Hallowed Mist coming out a little bit late and taking so much damage that Sejin can just flash right in to the Hallowed Mist and finish off Lived for the ace with no trades on the enemy team.
Rhea Fury, as opposed to previous fights, just couldn't get anything done there beyond the Weaver's Wall, right? That smoke screen, usually an ability that you don't really think about beyond the slow, beyond a tiny bit of magic damage, actually made the difference there and stopped him from doing anything. And then the Collector come on in as well, just taking out that mid laner and the captain from that fight. And from there, that shockwave.
Oh no, Rhea Fury, no.
Now Rhea Fury, the captain, might fall once more. The collateral damage not even needed. 19-30. That's a 7k gold lead off of this Baron, and they're going to look to push towards the end.
It certainly is looking rough for the Scrappers with this gold lead, with the amount of dragons, and with this Baron. But we thought that the last game as well. We really did. There is a chance. Absolutely, there is a chance. A huge play could be made to bring it back, to turn it around. It's certainly possible. I want to take a look. 225. A lot of CS under his belt. Level 15. The IA is complete. With one good team fight, this Yunara could turn it all.
I just don't know how you get through this beefy Scion. Look at that health bar. Look at the gold. I had 12,000 gold. That's more than both of the Belveth and this Talia.
Oh, no.
And they're going to go on in. That's an immediate kill. Nox is on a rampage. And look at the health bar on the XX as well. Rhea Fury might fall one more time. Lived, has to try and save the team, but knocked up and taken down. Charging in towards the Nexus. That's one more kill. Just the captain left standing for now. And going to meet his end as well. As the Bay Harbor, they will stay alive in this tournament.
Wow. That is certainly a game, a great performance from Lived. We saw at the end there as well, something I want to just bring a bit of attention to, that Orianna zoning off and getting another kill and just securing that Nexus take. A great performance throughout that game from Sejin there. What do you think? What do you think about the side of the Scrappers? What do you think went wrong? What happened there?
They had their moments, but the comp just didn't feel very cohesive. From start to finish, they had those moments, but beyond that, they couldn't make anything work, right? Rhea Fury had that great call towards the river. They won that fight. But then the rest of the positioning after that, they gave up the Baron for free with XX's positioning. And from there, it all just snowballed. And I mean, shout out to everyone. But my biggest shout out has to be towards that top lane, right? This Scion surviving, well, not surviving, but
taking down
two kills in that dive, right? And getting the wave with it as well. Just completely ran over the lane from that point on, continued stacking up that health, drew so many people towards his lane with that pressure alone that allowed the rest of the team to get everything they wanted on the other side of the map.
Yeah, and you imagine the scenario of that dive going well. They take out the Scion and they both live there. Lived is going to skyrocket that lead, truly. And we already saw, even with that semi-failed dive, Liv still performed so well in these team fights, almost turning the game. So it goes to think what would have happened if that dive went well. I also want to bring attention to, I wonder how differently that game would have gone if the Belveth had picked up the Coral, the Rift Herald Coral, leaving that behind. Losing out on those buffs and benefits was certainly an unfortunate misstep. Certainly. I do want to say, vote for that MVP, of course. Thank you to Riot for the codes. But we have got
Streets saying Ying.
Yes, Ying
100%,
performed really well,
100
really well. Picking up those
100% of
early
the poll so far in
have
favor of
gone.
Ying.
Wow, and honestly, very well deserved, truly well deserved. A great performance put out. That Seraphine, I love the damage build. They didn't need the Rylai's. But Mercury,
I
we
apologize,
have...
I wasn't familiar with your game.
Yeah, truly, truly, truly. And we will, of course, be saying goodbye to the Scrappers for this tournament. Sad indeed. We will be saying hello to the first best of 3 of this tournament after a very quick break. But stay tuned, because Fearless is going to take place and we're going to see some great games. But for now, take a quick break and we'll be right back after.